Hi, I am here with Ben Vasko. He is a songwriter and he is also the vocalist and drummer of the band Adoremus from Toledo, Ohio. And he is also a husband and father and just happens to be my nephew. Go figure. But he's a good guy, and I'm thrilled, of course, to introduce you to him today. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks, Matt. It's good to be talking.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
I love your guys' music, and I thought, since I'm starting this new endeavor, it'd be a great opportunity to feature a band I love who just happens to have my nephew in it. It's
Awesome.
sheer coincidence.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how long have well, maybe you should introduce us to who the other members of the band are and how long you guys have been together.
Yeah, sure. So, of course, I'm Ben. I do vocals and all the drumming for the band, a good majority of the songwriting. My guitarist is Daniel Sittler, and who actually used to be a bassist, and now he's the guitarist. And then we have Trey Kane, who is our bassist. Yeah, so the band's been going for, I guess coming up on 4 years now. I used to be in a band called Castle No Kings, also based out of Toledo, and I started it towards the end of my tenure in that band, just out of a desire to want to do like more worshipful music, and what I've been working on ever since. The other guys joined the band, Daniel and another previous member, Brennan, who is a fantastic piano player, joined the beginning of 2019. And then Trey joined the beginning of 2020, just before the shutdown in March, actually.
Awesome. Now, are either of these guys from your other band or no?
No. People happen to know. I met Daniel through we play a trading card game together, and that's how I met him. And then actually Trey just was in other bands in the music scene, and Brendan, actually, our former member, knew him, and then he came in, he jammed with us, and he fit right in, and that's that.
I find your music really, really exciting and engaging.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of have a hard time putting in a category. How do you guys describe, like, what genre do you put yourselves in?
I guess the best way to put it is just it's a type of like indie rock, alternative rock. We got a bunch of different influences from, I guess, chamber pop. Like one of my favorite bands is King's Kaleidoscope. So it's like poppier and like kind of rocky, but has like chamber instruments in it. But mainly currently what we've been doing is just like a lot of very guitar focused, more standard sort of like rock arrangement stuff with like a lot of poppy influences, I guess.
I like, I know you've got some new stuff that you've been putting out, but I'm particularly fond of one song, and I know what song I'm gonna name.
Yep.
I especially love the song "Hold Out for the Sun."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, what was the inspiration for that particular song?
So the best way to put it was, initially when I was writing the song, there's another band I know of. They're called For King and Country, and I was just like, all right. What would For King and Country do in like writing this song? And a person in my life, one of my sister-in-law, has had a lot of very traumatic experiences in her life, and I was just thinking about her a lot during the writing process. And it was essentially just sort of like a message to her, like it's going to be okay. Eventually, you're going to get through it. I drew a lot of imagery from like my own experiences dealing with things, and then just sort of like taking like that knowledge and what got me through, trying to translate that into like a message for her. And then it ended up being able to, transcend that and be something that, a lot of more people really are connecting with.
I find that song, to be such a strong, I'm just gonna be honest. I find it to be a really strong anti-suicide message.
Oh yeah.
Like this song to me is about keeping going, and just being reassured and knowing that things get better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's just like I've struggled with depression stuff for just a long time. And, there's plenty of times where just sometimes your mind is just like, you really need to end this. And you're just like, there's just a message to like, just, you gotta push through it. You got to, because on the other side there, it does get better. There is hope in the future. You are not like damaged goods. You're not hopeless. Your situation will improve and your life will be better.
Yeah. I just think, sometimes we go through things in life and we think, things are so hard right now. I don't know how I can go on.
Yeah.
But if you find a way, if you persevere, sometimes you find yourself looking back in 6 months and a year and going, how was I ever in that dark place? I don't even know how I got so low. Like looking back now, things are great. How could I ever have been as low as I was? And I just think that's for me, that's hold out for the sun. I just feel like it's a beautiful message. So I definitely want to recommend that to people who are discovering you guys, as like a really awesome song, great message, great tune. And then I know you guys just put out a new single, I Pray We'll Be Okay. What's that song about?
Yeah. So I'm sure you've heard, the story at like 1,000 different times of just like during quarantine, a lot of people just having to deal with like just hard situations. Some people having worse situations than others, just like being stuck in your family, in your home, just not able to go anywhere. And that song is literally just just a reflection of me and my wife's relationship during that time. I don't want to get into any of the specifics about exactly what happened, but if you listen to the song, you can piece together different, things that transpired. But it's just like, that was our story. And it's just, there was definitely times where it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe we've let our relationship get to what it is now. I pray we'll be okay. And like, but it's just like, I know we'll be okay. Also just in there is like a lot of prayer of just like, God, forgive me for how we're being with each other. And, just like help us, get to a better place. And we've come out stronger since then. And we've, since then, we faced even more difficult things, but we're getting through it much easier and better since then, so that's, it's what the song's about.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, sort of have this idea like marriage is going to be easy, and it's a journey, and it's highs and its lows, and the thing is to keep communicating, I think, and just keep working it out,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going to fully admit I was one of those people who thought like, oh, this can't be, like, everyone says that, like, oh, marriage is hard, but like, surely it can't be that hard. And then like, you don't truly understand the intricacies of the situation until you're in it. You're like, oh, now I understand. I understand this, and like this really is work and hard work, but it's some of the most rewarding work ever.
Um, I find your songs to be deeply personal and meaningful. Do you like go into songs that way? Do you try to make your songs really personal?
Um, but like I'd say like 99% of the time they are just extremely personal because anytime I try to write anything where it's just like I'm trying to write to like a group of people or like kind of like general context and things, it just doesn't come out genuine. There's like a lack of that pure just emotion, and so I write from personal experience. I never originally set out to be like, wasn't necessarily trying to be a faith-based band, but it's just like it just was just like such a deep part of me. Is just like it's the me and the faith, they're just so tightly woven that I just can't separate the two. And just a lot of times I'm like talking about different mental things I'm going through. Like we did a whole album about the concept of like I was having panic attacks about me losing my family because like now that I'm married and I have kids and I all of a sudden I have so much to lose. I didn't realize how much fear I had to lose all that, and I had to face that, and wrote a whole album and be like how would I even imagine to try and like get through this. But yeah, it's just like a lot of times it's just song ideas will come from just some deep emotional either situation I'm going through or just like this emotional feeling. There's plenty of times where like plenty of times when I was living in an apartment, I would come over to my parents' house to do laundry, for example, and I would just like sit down in front of the piano and I'd just be like, man, God, I just don't feel like I'm worthy of anything today. And I'm just like, I'm there. And I just start plinking some stuff out on the piano and I just start crying. And then you get songs like Consumed out of that, or Refill This Vessel, or Do You Love Me Regressing, just all came out of just vulnerable places where I'm just like, a lot of times just like my end of the conversation with God and stuff. And yeah, just odd. So yeah, so it is everything personal, extremely.
Well, they say you got to write what you know, so that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and plenty of times there are people that are just like, yeah, I felt this way, like too, a lot, and there's there's beauty in that and being able to connect with people on that, because plenty of times, and me trying to talk with somebody I can have a harder time trying to like connect with people, but if I like can pour out my emotions into this piece of art, a lot of times just like it'll just translates over much better.
And I just think that's the beauty of music, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we can hear a song and go and find ourselves in it, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And those are the kinds of songs you write, which is really exciting. All right, one final question, bonus question, if you will.
Sure.
If you could send one message to the world, what would it be?
I think the main thing I want people to walk away with is no matter who you are, what you believe, what you've done, what you've lived through, God desires to be with you and have a relationship with you. You are seen, you are loved. It is a beautiful thing that you are here and you've overcome so much and that you are alive. That's what I would love people just to walk away with.
That's a great message. And I think I hear that message in your music too. I really hear it. So we're gonna wrap things up and cut away for just a little teaser, if you will,
Yeah.
of I Pray We'll Be Okay. Thanks so much, Ben.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Matt. It's good to talk to you.
Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
My love, what happened to us? I took to a screen, and you to a buzz. My love, we're falling quick, let us be rid of it. I wanna get better, we gotta get better.